Hello my YouTube lovelies, and welcome to this peculiar vlog. So the date is the 24th of March 2020, and last night we had the address to the nation from Bojo, and telling us all that we need to stay home. Now, when that address went out last night, I was parked up in my van in a park up very close to work.
You will arrive at your destination at 18:37.
Thank you. And I wasn't in a position to drive south. I had a plan all sorted, still have a plan sorted, because I wasn't in a position to, because I'd had a drink, and I needed to sort out a few loose ends at work first of all, and get some bits and pieces that I need to be able to continue working to some extent. So it is 14:35. Satnav says I'm going to arrive at my destination at 18:38. So I've got 235 miles to drive. I am driving south, and my plan is to go to my mum's, and I will park up on her drive. She's got a nice big drive which is flat, and I shall park up there and be isolated in my van. I have electric that I can plug into. There's water taps outside. There's another toilet that I can use in the hallway. A front garden and a back garden, so I can have some outdoor space, which is really nice. It's in a very, very quiet village. I'm not going to tell you where it is. But it's a really quiet village, and most of whom are probably elderly and are locked in anyway, although everyone should be locked in. So there's nice places that I can go for a run or a walk at particular times of the day, and I'm pretty much sure I'd be pretty much the only person out there running or walking. So it's the best of both worlds. Ideally, I wanted to take myself out into the wilderness, but having spent a week last week in Wales, I could see there that it was getting increasingly more difficult. And watching social media and friends of mine that are in places, whether it be Scotland, etc., Peak District, I think it's going to be hard for van lifers in general. And my nemesis with living in this van is always to do with power. Certainly trying to stay in contact with work one way or another, being able to continue to upload and do YouTube videos, etc. Power's my biggest problem, and I'm not in a position where I can be totally off grid. So for me, the safest and most sensible idea was just basically to base myself at my mum's. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got to go and get some fuel.
At the end of the road, turn right, Goodrick Lane, then, at the end of the road, turn left.
Brilliant. So I know what to do for the first few turnings. So yeah, I'm going to go to a petrol station, and I'm going to fill up with diesel, and then go as much as possible without stopping. And when I get to the other end, as close to my mum's as possible, I will probably fill up again, so I have a full tank of diesel, and I might even fill up the jerry can as well. So then I've got fuel for the diesel heater, which will keep me going for a very, very long time, I would imagine, certainly if I'm not going to be using the van hardly at all. So that's my plan, Stan. So I'll take you on a little journey. We'll see how quiet the roads are. I was wanting to go sort of during the evening, but I think I'll go now. The roads, I'm pretty sure, are going to be really quiet, so I'll take you along on the journey. You can see I had a haircut yesterday, managed to get the last haircut in town, I think, because that's all closed, so that was really good. I've had a nice shower, I've had a shave, believe it or not. You know, kept a bit of a design stubble, so I'll take you on this little journey, and then when we get to the other end I'll show you the location and I'll show you the little setup, and we'll go from there. Okay, cheers. Right, first step, fill up with fuel, and yeah, that's insane. £65, so that was 108.7 for a litre of diesel. 65 quid. Filled up my tank and also filled up the jerry can with 9 litres. It normally costs anywhere between 70 and 75 quid just to fill up the tank of the van, so yeah, interesting times, what with the oil companies having their tit for tat. So first objective done. The next thing is just to go briefly into Lidl and just get a couple of bits and pieces, and then we're off on the road. Okay, part 2 completed. A small Lidl shop for some last minute bits and bobs of fresh pieces and stuff, and we're all good to go. So 3:15, I'm going to get there for 19:17. Okay, so I'll take you on the journey and we'll take a few snapshots. Everything is really, really quiet. I think people are finally paying attention, because there were very few people in there. So we'll see what it's like on the roads, eh? Cheers. Finally, what is the time? 19:38, so 20 to 8. I finally arrived at my destination. Yeah, just over 4 hours on the road. Didn't have to stop once, which was pretty good. Filled up with fuel really close to my mum's to get some extra fuel, and yeah, it was a good journey, really quiet, and we're all sorted, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers. So here we are, 5 days later. The journey down from the north to the south was completed. Fairly non-eventful, to be honest with you. The roads were relatively quiet. Lorries, vans, tankers, etc. A fair smattering of cars still, but I guess one could put that down to people relocating, etc., or going to their desired location for lockdown, etc. A interesting observation on the way down was the amount of motorhomes that are out on the road. There were a shitload of motorhomes out, all heading north. I didn't see many going in a southerly direction. And over the last few days, watching friends and community on Instagram and YouTube, and seeing the hassles that they're having to go through, which I suppose the catalyst to that was a huge influx of people just going off in their motorhomes, etc., and that's kind of had a detrimental effect to those that do live full time, and that's a real shame. I don't know what the figures are, I'm not going to guess, but from my own experience through the social media that I look at, my guess is, I don't know, there's somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 van dwellers or full-timers in the country. Maybe it's more, I really don't know. And through my experience, there's not a large portion of those that are in motorhomes. Most of them are in self-conversions, vans, etc. And to see the amount of motorhomes that are out on the road was quite shocking, because this is obviously people who have taken this opportunity. I think there's a large portion of this country who are just taking this opportunity as a holiday. It's a break from work, etc. Oh, we'll just go out, it's a lovely day. We'll just take the van out, or let's make something of it. Let's go out into the wilderness and let's lock ourselves down. And it's like, that's a real shame, because obviously they've made it hard for those that do this full time. And not only are you putting other people in danger, you're putting yourselves in danger, especially with the fact that you've left bricks and mortar in a perfectly safe location to go out into a van. It's just beyond the imagination why people would do that. I really don't know. But anyway, that was an observation that I saw on Tuesday driving down. I'm here now, and I'm glad I made the decision to come south. I was in Wales a week ago, just over a week ago, touring Wales, and I prepped my van to a point because I knew that something was afoot and something was going to happen, wasn't quite sure what, etc. So I was already prepped, and just within the week of being away in Wales, I was aware of something just didn't feel right, and I just thought to myself, as much as I would love to be out in the sticks and with fellow van lifers, etc., I had to come up with my own plan, which was something which was comfortable for my circumstances. I feel I fit in that category of people that, 2 weeks ago now, maybe just over 2 weeks ago, the government was saying this particular bracket of people should be isolating themselves for 12 weeks or so. And I was one of those, and so as much as I wanted to be away, I had to look, I guess, I don't know, maybe it is selfish or inwardly to some extent, to make things ideal for my own circumstances. So choosing my mum's, I think, was the right decision. And especially in light of seeing what's happening up and down the country with all my friends and community, it's really distressing seeing the trials and tribulations that they're having to go through, which is already a chaotic and, I don't know, dare I say, cataclysmic time with what's happening. And it's a shame that the human race, or let's say the British public, let's narrow it down, shall we, are so fucking small-minded and petty and jealous of the life that we lead, that they have to disrupt it and go out of their way in their own safety to go and disrupt it. And how that the authorities and government, it's almost like just completely forgotten or totally unaware of a category of the social community at large that are in this predicament and just not making it easy. And it's sad to see that from what for me is a very, very comfortable position. You know, I've moved myself here mainly, a lot of it for my own health reasons, but also because I still got commitments to work. So, you know, my van, as much as it works off grid, it will only work off grid for a small amount of time, up to a point when, you know, unless I can be guaranteed lots and lots of solar, it has its limitations. So to come here, it meant that I was in a position where I could plug in and have electricity. I've got an Ethernet cable running out to the house so I can get a proper internet connection, which I can then use for work, so I can still to some extent work from home, although that's not as easy due to the nature of my job, but there are aspects that I can work from home and certainly then have that aspect of being able to stay in contact with colleagues, etc. I have water, I have an open space with a front garden, I've got the back garden, and more importantly I can check in with my mum and see if she's okay, etc. So I'm happy that I made the choice to come here, and I feel and reach out to all of my friends and community out there. I just wish you all the very best. I don't know what I can do. I'm trying to do something with other people to see if there is something that can be done in order to help the circumstances of those that are out on the road. But anyway, we'll see. So this is day 5 now, and you know, everything is all good. I'm fairly well adapted to my circumstances here, and the added additional comforts that I've got in the van are making it really good. So all is good in the hood, as Bride would say. So anyway, I'll end this bit here. Maybe I'll come on again and report within a week's time or what have not, who knows. But to all of the gang out there, you know, look after yourselves, look out for each other, stay safe, and we'll see each other, I'm sure, on the other side, yeah? Okay, cheers.